You just commented on playing in Catholic school to where the competition athletically wasn't as talented as the public schools. Now you're going to Westside Junior High, and now you're now starting as far as basketball. Now what is your goals and expectation of yourself?
Initially, just being a competitive person I am, my goal was to break my way into that starting lineup. But it was kind of one of those things where all those guys have been playing together since Kerry Gosh. Even though I played summer league and I played at the 151 Center with all these guys, the coaches wouldn't give no opportunities to nobody but those other five. But on the other end of it, I was dominating as far as football go, Pop Warner with that, with the Hammer Hawks. So I kind of like I say, man, like a lot happened with basketball early on, put a sour taste in my mouth. So I kind of like went away and just did my football thing, and I played on traveling all-star teams in the 7th and 8th grade for basketball. But I would go from traveling all-star basketball practice to football practice. So it was more or less just the whole makeup of how things went down in the West Side kind of made me think that when I got to high school, it was going to be straight football.
Okay. Now with the Hammer Hawks, you set a record of scoring 7 touchdowns in one game, but then somebody you know and love came right back the next year and broke your record. Give us a little insight on that.
Hammer Hawks, man, we had a different kind of offense every year, and I had fortunate time to have a couple touchdowns on defense, and I also scored on offense, and I had a good game. Next year, my little brother, Johnny Gillis, came in. I think he scored 8 times.
Yeah. How'd it make you feel?
I was proud of him. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted everybody. I want everybody to get better every year. That's how I want my family to be.
Gotcha. Now you're moving on to East Chicago Central High School. During this time, East Chicago been a dominant program. Come from the 10-1 season, the 8-3 season. Now, what's your goals and expectations as a freshman coming into EC Central?
Man, let me tell y'all my #1 goal when I got to high school. My brother Greg Gillis, he was part of that 10-1 team that East Chicago had, and I went to every one of my brother's games from his freshman year to his senior year. And my brother's senior season, they had beat Crown Point, I think, twice already. I think they blew them out in the Rama, and then they blew them out during the regular season. And they lost to Crown Point, and I saw what that did to my brother. And I never hated the school more than I hated Crown Point. And my major goal, besides making my way to college, was to give it to Crown Point every chance I got.
Okay. Now going to your freshman season, you was a starting cornerback, punt returning, kick returning. Give us your insights on that season.
Freshman season was a great season. I mean, I had a lot of expectations because me and Greg, we 5 years apart. So he had just graduated. So all the guys he had been beating up on for 3 years, now they was the upperclassmen. And I was coming in, and the coaches expected me to be able to do what my brother did. And I think I lived up to that freshman year because as a freshman, I started freshman at corner, I started JV at safety, and I actually dressed varsity. And I mean, we beat Lake Central freshman year. Their freshman team had lost a game. I think it was in like 7 or 8 years. It was a long time. I mean, that was the program at the time in the region. But freshman year was a big year. It was like a coming out party for me, and I think I lived up to what I was supposed to do.
All right. Now your freshman season, as we all know, you were 5'6". In sophomore year, you go to 5'10". Now, what's your expectations? Because now you're growing. Give us a little insight on that.
The growth part was expected. I was figuring I would get to at least 6'2", because my oldest brother, Anthony Kennedy, everybody knows him as High Rise. He was about 6'2", 6'1". My dad 6 feet. And I had relatives that were 6'5", 6'7". So I was kind of down on myself freshman year being 5'8". I was kind of a small, quick guy. I played corner, safety. I did all that. Sophomore year, grew 5'10", kept the same agility. Was a little bigger, so I was able to be more aggressive, and it added to my game. But for some reason, my sophomore year, I'm not going to say the guy, but the quarterback of varsity, even though it was a better opportunity for that team to make that team better, he decided that he didn't want me to play wide receiver. He didn't want a sophomore playing receiver. And
Not
like,
going, not going to play that because I remember that. I remember Coach Richards wanted you to play varsity sophomore, so you can gain a lot of experience. And I remember John Massey making that statement that he didn't want no sophomores playing with him. How did it make you feel?
to me, that just showed me that I didn't want to play with a guy that was a bad decision maker like that. I don't care if you're a freshman. I want the best player on the field. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that's something we're going to touch on later because that was something that turned around later on my senior season where I wanted a sophomore to play and other guys didn't. So I mean, I just feel like, the quarterback making bad decisions like that, then I don't need to be on the field with him. And you know what? Out of all the years I played at Central, the one year that sticks in my head as far as records is that year we went 1-8. I mean, I played a lot on defense,
Yeah,
but we went 1-8. And I'm watching guys, drop balls, can't get open. And I'm locking them down in practice every day at corner, kind of laughing at him, and making a statement to him, picking him off in practice. So I mean, that was like an angry year for me.
gotcha. Now your junior year comes. As we know again, from 5'10" to 6'4", amazing growth spurt. Now you're a wide receiver, big time wide receiver. Now go into your insights on what you want to accomplish as a junior.
Now junior year, like, we all know, like, everybody want to think they're good, but going into my junior year when I found out that I was exceptionally different. I was 6'4". We was going to 7-on-7 passing camp, playing the best team in Illinois. I'm scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns every game. I mean, just doing whatever I want to do. So I would go home and just kind of, me and my grandfather used to talk a lot about, after every practice, scrimmage. And I just told my grandfather, like, man, like, can't nobody guard me. Like, this is too easy. I mean, I remember us playing Thornton, and I was scoring like 3 touchdowns on Randall. And both of the Randall brothers, Curtis and Antoine Randall. And just kind of, like, knowing these guys had these big names and just doing what I wanted to do to them. So I just, man, I feel like with that team that we had and the players that I grew up with, I really wanted to, really thought we could win state. I mean, and we were more like a family because something we didn't touch on is that early on in our high school careers, we all thought about transferring because it was just too much talent on that team. And we saw it at a young age and kind of feel like we needed to branch out somewhere else, but we all decided to stay together, so this was it. This was our chance to win state.
Now, real quick, let's go ahead and touch on that because I was part of that possible transition. What reasons did you feel like you had to transfer?
Well, after our freshman season, like I said, a lot of talent showed up. Carl Biddens, myself, Marcus Reeves, Mike McGee. We've had a guy by the name of John Harris. A lot of people don't know about him, man. This dude was
amazing.
Was crazy, man. What was it, Corey Perkins?
Corey Perkins.
Corey Perkins was like 6'3".
A freshman.
He ran a 4.4 as a freshman, wide receiver. He went deep every play, could nobody guard him.
Yeah.
We had, Austin was good. You name it, we had good players. All the way around. I'm forgetting some PJ. You name it. It wasn't enough balls to go around. And at the same time, Coach E had just left. So, kind of thing that we was thinking about is the best move would be Bishop Nova. Because Bishop Nova had a couple pieces, but they didn't have the full puzzle. And then they had a great quarterback in Pierre Dumas.
Pierre Dumas.
So, that was going to be the move we was going to make.